What's up, guys? It's Mama Deadhead, and I am back with another Team Build Tuesday. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about something more simple, and it is what you really need to work on in your workshop, what you need to craft, and things that will help you on earlier in the game. Now, I know for some of the older players, you guys will be like, I don't even use these things anymore. And I understand there, like, a lot of times I'll have like daily missions to use battle items, and I actually have to go in and, just waste items because I don't really need them that much anymore. But I know that when I first started, it was something that I really needed because there's no way that I could make it through some of these maps without having certain battle items. So that being said, I'm going to show you my level 20 workshop. It's this guy right here, and you're going to notice first off that I actually do not have everything researched. And reason being is, to begin with, I just skipped over certain things that I didn't think I needed. And then it just got to a point where I didn't really need them at all, so I didn't research them. At some point, I'm probably going to research them, but this is just something that's like not top priority right now. So I'm going to show you guys, and yeah, there are some of these lower ones that I don't have researched. It's nothing against them, it's just I didn't research them, and it got to a point where then I didn't need them. So especially these higher items up here, and then the Elia incense I do have researched. Now, the reason I have this researched is because it cost 131,000 material, and that's when I really just want to get rid of material, so that's what I use that for. Same with guts. But really, I'll show you the stuff that really helped me out in the beginning. Obviously, replenish was big for me. I talked before about how you can put your survivors and your food into training grounds, which is the better route because you don't lose anything. But if you just have some extra left over, you should put it in high replenish so it doesn't get stolen. But, I'm leaving those two out, and I'm just going for the ones that really helped me, which is really smelling salts down. So let's go ahead and just look at the things that I have like a little bit more of than everything else, which is bloody shirts, tear gas file, and nerve gas file. I would say the more important two definitely being tear gas and bloody shirts. And reason being is you see here the tear gas, a line of enemies get -50 defense for 2 turns. So whenever I was going through the really hard stages on like Ultra Gear map of humans, now I don't really use this on zombies, and I've talked to you guys about how to build a team before, and in that case, I wouldn't say use something that brings defense down. You should use something that ups your crit. So this was strictly for humans, and especially taking in like all adjacent damage tunes and then using this and then taking in those tunes will really help you a lot. So I definitely recommend having this tear gas file researched. So another big one is the one team member gets camouflage for 3 turns. Again, this is another, lifesaver if you are on zombie maps that are really hard for you. Now, I've really, in general, just stuck with the replenish. So I wouldn't really put all of your research time into some of these lower ones. Now, one thing that I want to mention here. When I started, I was definitely like yellow heavy. So you see right here, the grindstone, all melee team members get plus 50% attack for 2 turns. If I used that, and I used the tear gas file, and then I had like an all adjacent tune, which I did, which was Abraham, then I could really chop through some of those human levels. Now you'll see over here, this is basically the same thing. All ranged team members get plus 50% attack for 2 turns, the hollow point rounds. I didn't research that because I didn't have a ranged team. Now, I would recommend in this case doing them both, just like I would recommend doing both nerve gas and tear gas. But like I said, I just personally didn't research it because I didn't have a range team. And then when I did get a good range team, I didn't need it. One massive, massive thing that I want to say before I go on. First off, this was just my experience, so your experience can absolutely be different. But the one huge thing that really, really saved me is smelling salts. And that is revive one team member with 50% of their max HP. And I didn't even know that this existed at first as a young player. This wasn't exactly given out. This was definitely like a higher tier of like rewards that I couldn't get to yet as a new player, you know, like level, I want to say like up to like 20, 25-ish. I didn't even really know about this because I hadn't built my town hall high enough to even get anything like this. So this was just rewards from different events and things like that. But this, once I learned about it and I researched it and I got to it, was a huge lifesaver for me. So if you can get to that point, I want to say is 10 or 11. 10? I believe it's 10. That's going to help you a lot. And if you can get to that point, then I would say that you're really on the right track for all of the maps. So really, what I would take in, personally, if it was like a human level, I would take in Replenish, I would take in Tear Gas Vial, and I would take in Grindstone, and then I would take in Smelling Salts. Now, other things that I think are very, very useful, let me see here. I'm trying to find one specifically. Here we go. The Nitric Oxide and Sharpshooter, and basically they're the same thing, but one is melee, one is range. So 20 crit chance for 3 turns, and that's all of the team members. So if I brought in a zombie team and it was, you know, all ranged, if it was a zombie level, then what I would want to take in would be Replenish, would be Bloody Shirts, because you see it gives you that camouflage that you need. And then I would go up here and I would take in the ranged one, where all ranged team members get plus 20 crit for 3 turns, and Smelling Salts. That's what I would do. Now really, in general, I haven't really needed all of this other stuff, but I know that it can definitely come in handy. Like one thing that's nice to have, I don't even think I have it researched, but I do have 339 of them. Deal 600 damage to a group of enemies. That can always come in handy, which is the grenade right here, unresearched. Now beside it is also something very useful if you get up high enough in your town hall to be able to research this. Guts, so all team members get camouflage for 1 turn, which is very, very helpful. But essentially for me, what it came down to was once I really, really practiced and got a good distance on, world map and road maps, by the time I got to stuff like Guts and, grenades and Elegant Incense and like the Nerve Gas Grenade and Tear Gas Grenade up here, it was at a point where I didn't really need that stuff anymore. Hence why I don't have it researched. The only reason that I have these higher ones researched now is to get rid of my materials, which is kind of sad to say because I do miss using some of this stuff. So that being said, normally how I do things if I'm wanting to get rid of material, and I don't necessarily ghost, but I'd like to keep my material low because it's the most annoying thing. I think Lockdown has talked about this before, that it's just now a force of habit to click the, you already have like full materials button. But for me, it's just so annoying. I wish that there was some way to just either exit out of that message forever. In that case, I would probably just keep the materials full. But I like to keep it a little bit lower just because I hate that message. I wish that there was a cool way, maybe something in museums that could convert materials to wood. Say, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't even care if it was 1 million material for 1 food. I would totally do that just because I want it out of the way. But that being said, hopefully I could help some of you guys with this. I know when I first started, this was something that I was definitely not too clear on. Like I said, I didn't even know about smelling salts, and I didn't know that there was sites that I could go to that had all of this information for me as a new player. I didn't even really venture out and try and find anything from the internet in general, but everything is listed. Again, if you need help, I haven't really talked about this in a while, but if you go down in the description below, I do have a line chat, and it has a lot of information in it, like what you can get from Armory, what you can get from Ascension, and my group is full of people that are more than willing to help you, especially if you're new. If you're really nervous, you're coming in and you're worried about saying something dumb, I promise I've done something a million times more time in this game. Like I told you guys in my leader skill video, oh, I just put a really scary tune out front, then nobody's going to attack me or raid me. And then it got me raided more, and I didn't understand why. So trust me, I can understand where you're coming from, and I would be more than happy to help. But hopefully this did clear some things up for you guys. Hopefully it could help you with your world map if you haven't gotten through it completely and you're seeing some of this stuff on screen that might be really, really helpful. You see stuff that maybe you can skip to get to smelling salts or something like that. But yeah, guys, this is going to be all for today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And like always, guys, like and subscribe. Bye.